guys, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's the author of the book You're Making This Way Too Hard. No other than Mr. Angelo Valenti.
Hi, Daniel. Great to be here.
Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Angelo. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Sure. I'm a consulting psychologist. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. Spend most of my days helping people, helping companies, I should say, hire the right people for their culture and develop the talent that they have in their organization. I coach leaders, I coach aspiring leaders, and I coach people who just want to live their best life.
Yes, because life is too short, people. So, Mr. Angelo, what is the central message of you are making this way too hard?
The central message is w- we have a tendency to overcomplicate our lives,
True.
but right? And it doesn't have to be as difficult as we make it. Many of the problems that we have are self-created, which is the bad news. The good news is if they're self-created, they're self-fixable too. So if you just take some steps to try to take better care of yourself, make better decisions, take responsibility for yourself, take control of your life, you have a chance to have a pretty good life, and it doesn't take really an extraordinary amount of effort to do that. Just kind of flip your focus just a little bit.
Flip the focus, people, and concentrate. How does the book define the concept of easy in relation to life and happiness?
Well, ease is a relative term, obviously. Some situations are more difficult than others, but the way I define easy is not unnecessarily difficult. If you're making this harder on yourself than it needs to be, that's kind of the opposite of easy. So easy is making life as easy as possible.
I
And
like
that's
that.
different from person to person. Some people have more challenges than others. Some people are in better situations than others. Uh, but everybody, if they take certain steps, can make their life easier.
Totally agree, Mr. Angelo. So, what are the some common ways people overcomplicate their lives according to the book?
Well, according to the book, there are several ways that people overcomplicate their lives, and one of the biggest ways now is that they base some or the majority of their self worth on social media. What they see on social media, how many likes they get if they post on social media, they get concerned about who likes what they're posting and who doesn't like it. They also have a tendency to compare themselves to what they see on social media, and that's a killer. Comparison is the thief of joy. Uh, it's a game you can't win, and especially with social media because you're comparing somebody else's scripted, edited. I hate to use the word fake, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
real. They're posting exactly what they want you to see,
True.
and you're comparing that to your life, which is probably not as glamorous. It's not as successful as what is being portrayed, and you don't realize that you're being kind of manipulated into believing something that's not really true.
Curated, people. Those are curated. So, Mr. Angelo, what does enjoy life mean and how it can be applied to everyday living?
Well, as you can see from the cover of my book, I spelled enjoy life NJOYLFE, and I did that on
Yes.
purpose because that's my actual license plate. It's been on every car I've had since 1991, and I'm a car guy, so I have a tendency to have nice cars. I've been very fortunate in my life. And several years ago, I had my Mercedes convertible parked in the parking lot of a casual dining restaurant. When I came out, there was a note on the
Mhm.
windshield, and the note said, "I'd enjoy life too if I had millions in the bank and drove a $110,000 Mercedes." And I looked around, and I really would have loved to talk to that person who wrote that note and let them know that they had cause and effect backwards. I don't enjoy life because I have whatever it is that I have. I have whatever I have because I enjoy life.
True. So, how does the book challenge traditional notions of success and
Well,
hard work?
well, hard work, there's no substitute for hard work. Smart work, maybe smart work is a substitute for hard work, but success, we have a tendency to define success by external things: how much money we have, what kind of house we have, what kind of job we have, how we look, uh, how many friends we have. And really, success comes from enjoying your journey. The successes and the failures along that journey make you who you are. So really, success is not a destination, it's a journey. And I think it's important for people to be striving for something that's meaningful to them. Whether it's meaningful to anybody else is really irrelevant if it's meaningful to them. And they can find joy in the pursuit of whatever it is that's meaningful to them.
Totally agree, Mr. Angelo. So let's talk about um, applying the easy approach. What daily habits can help create a life of easy and joy?
Well, the first thing you can do, and everybody can do this, is take a little bit better care of yourself physically,
Yes.
because your body is the vessel that's taking you on the journey. And if it's not in as good a shape as it can be, then the journey's going to be that much more difficult. And I recognize some people have health challenges, and not everybody's in, some people are in better shape than others, but there are little things you can do without absolutely going crazy, to take a little better care of yourself. Get a little bit more exercise, take a walk every day, eat a
True.
little bit better. And I'm not saying you have to be a health fanatic, but instead of eating a whole bag of potato chips, eat a quarter of a bag of potato chips, right? Get get get
Be
some
healthy.
get plenty of sleep. Make sure you're getting enough to hydration. And I'm a big believer in taking naps.
Yes.
In
True.
some cultures, naps are very common, and they're part of the culture. And in America, we have a tendency to think of people who takes naps as being lazy or unmotivated or not working very hard. When
Hmm.
a 30-minute nap, especially at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, can rejuvenate you, give you much more energy, and allow you to accomplish much more if that's something you want to do that day.
Certainly. I think in Japan they are mandatory to take a nap.
Well, that's a good idea. We should copy that from Japan. A-
Yes.
Another thing that people can do is start saying nice things about yourself to yourself. We have a tendency to beat ourselves up, always believing what other people might say
They.
about you that isn't
Hmm.
true or that isn't very complimentary. And if you start to believe that stuff, you're gonna create a negative self-image that's gonna be hard to overcome. So everybody has a lot of really good qualities, and they should celebrate those good qualities about themselves, to themselves. They don't have to
True.
brag about it to other people. Just say it to yourself about yourself.
Yes. Say positive to yourself, people. I
Sure.
am the head, not the tail. I'm a victor, not a victim. Like that. So,
Exactly.
Mr. Angelo, what mindset shift does the book recommend for overcoming obstacles?
Well, the mindset people should have is to take one step at a time. If you look at an obstacle, it can seem overwhelming if you try to tackle the whole thing. but there are steps you can take every day to get you closer to overcoming that obstacle. Let's say, for example, you want to lose 50 pounds.
Yes.
Well, 50 pounds sounds like a lot. But if you say, I want to lose 1 pound every week, that seems much more doable. And at the end of a year, you've lost 50 pounds. So
Awesome.
if you break it up into smaller pieces, it's easier to overcome that obstacle. And I think if you have a positive attitude toward whatever it is you're going through, you have a much better chance of overcoming that obstacle also. We talked about complaining a little bit. You know, I told my kids at a very early age is don't complain because half the people don't care and the other half wish it was worse. So instead of
True.
complaining about it, do something about it.
Totally agree, Mr. Angelo. Totally agree. So, how does the book suggest balancing responsibilities while still living with ease?
Well, everybody's got responsibilities. But if you look at it as a burden, then you're going to have trouble enjoying your life. If you look at it as a challenge or an opportunity to grow, those responsibilities can be what define you, how you handle those responsibilities. You know, I'm a husband, I'm a father. I take pride in being both of those things. I'm a grandfather too, um, and I'm a professional, and I take those responsibilities seriously, and I try to do the best job I can to meet all of those responsibilities. But if you're looking at the responsibilities you have as an onus or as a burden or as something that's making your life more difficult, then lo and behold, it is going to make your life more difficult. But if you look at it as an opportunity to be the best version of yourself, then it's not so much of a problem.
Yes. Stop complaining, people. So, speaking of complaining, what role does gratitude play in making life feel easier and more enjoyable?
Well, I think gratitude is key. I think if you approach life with a quote attitude of gratitude, you're going to find opportunities to find joy in everyday things. I mean, you don't have to be grateful for big things. Little
Yes.
things like at my age when you wake up and nothing hurts, that's something to be that's something to be grateful for.
True.
Uh, but if you know beautiful sunrise, hearing a bird sing, petting a puppy, hearing a little kid laugh, just simple things, and that varies from person to person. Different things people find joy in different things and gratitude. But if you start to be grateful for the little things, you'll find that the little things are really the big things. But you have to really approach every day. And I for people who aren't used to doing it, I suggest people start a gratitude journal. Write
Yes.
down three things first thing in the morning that you're grateful for. Or maybe it's the last thing before you go to bed. It depends on the person. But if you start doing that every day, you'll realize that you have a lot in your life to be grateful for. And maybe you just haven't been looking for it or haven't recognized it when you saw it.
True. Count your blessing, people. Stop complaining, okay? So let's talk about mindset and personal growth. Mr. Angelo, how does the book suggest people shift from struggle mindset to an easy mindset?
Well, the first thing that people can do is start to take more control of their life. There are certain things in life that we have no control over. I mean, that's just the fact. But there are also plenty of things that we do have control over. And the things that we do have control over, we should control as much as possible. One of the things you can control that's critical is how you react to situations. You can't always control the situation, but you can control how you react to that situation. All right?
Yes.
You can control your attitude. You can control the decisions, the choices that you make. And whether those choices are good or bad are going to help to define how easy or difficult your life is. And what a person is today is the sum total of all of the choices, decisions that they've made. Some of those decisions have worked out great, some of them haven't worked out so great, but they all act to define what you are today. And if you make better quality decisions, you're going to have a better quality life. And you can start doing that today.
Yes. Now, people, now. So, Mr. Angelo, how does the book differentiate between working hard and working smart?
Well, working hard implies effort. And I'm not going to discount effort because part of working hard is being persistent. And I think one of the things that separates successful people from unsuccessful people is successful people are persistent and unsuccessful people quit somewhere
Yes.
along the way, right?
Yeah.
So persistence is part of working hard. Working smart is figuring out the dynamics of whatever system that you're in and finding a way to make it work for you. I mean, if hard work was all it took to be successful, coal miners would be the most successful people in the world because they probably work as hard as anybody. But that's not the way it is. So you have to be work hard and work smart.
Totally agree. So, Mr. Angelo, what would be your advice for those people out there who want to succeed in life?
Well, first you have to decide what success means to you. And I would encourage you not to look at success by the external trappings because those can be taken away from you in a minute. Success means fulfillment. Success means great relationships. Success means being in control of your life. Success means enjoying every day for what it is because today is the only day you've got. Nobody's guaranteed tomorrow. And I think one of the things that keeps people from being happy and enjoying their life is they're always either dwelling on the past or looking towards some future that's undefined, which we can't predict. Uh, excuse me, it's allergy season here in Nashville.
Likewise.
But so if you define success, like I said, by the journey and by um, hitting little milestones every day or doing something, I encourage people to find something to do that gives you joy every day, whatever it might be. And so many people are afraid to do those little things that give them joy or to find joy because they're afraid of what other people might think or whether they should be doing something more important. Uh, Finding joy in every day is probably the most important thing you could be doing because if every day's a drudge, if every day's miserable, then what's the point?
Yes. True. People don't care what people say about you. They just want you to fail. So ignore them. Go, go, go. So, Mr. Angelo, thank you for your advice. And what are your short term and long term goals in writing?
Well, my short-term goal is I've outlined my second book. Um, so my short-term goal is to get that written. Um, and then my longer-term goal next year, I'd probably like to uh, do a more business-related book uh, that kind of talks about what I've done for the last 42 years in helping companies hire people. I'd like to write a book on helping companies hire people effectively. So
Awesome.
that's 2026. 2025's kind of write a follow up to this book.
Looking forward for all your books to come, Mr. Angelo, and you are most welcome to come back on Book 101 Review and let's talk about it. So, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, Food 101, in its fifth season, people. Fifth season with Chef Alessandro, one of the specialty chef in one of the five-star hotel in downtown Toronto. Please do listen to our latest episode. We are reading our letter senders all over the world. So please do listen, Food 101, wherever you listen your podcasts. So, Mr. Angelo, what are the key action steps from the book that readers can implement immediately?
Immediately.
Yes.
Start taking better care of yourself physically. That means getting a little more exercise, eating right, getting enough sleep. Second thing, uh, start looking at the decisions that you're making, the choices that you're making. Start making better choices, and you'll end up with better outcomes. Third thing, start loving yourself. Say good things about yourself to yourself. Fourth thing, take control of your life. Take control of the decisions you're making and take control in general of your outcomes. If you believe that you control your life, that's terrific. If you believe outside forces or luck or karma control your life, you're going to be a puppet the rest of your life.
Certainly. So, Mr. Angelo Valenti, we salute you. Thank you so much for sharing your empowering books to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support all your books?
Sure, please do. You can find them on Amazon, Audible, Barnes and Noble, Draft to Digital. You can buy them off my website, www.angelovalenti.com. If you buy a book off my website, I'll throw in the workbook for free.
Yes. So, people, let's support Mr. Angelo Valenti because if you support him, as I said, more and more and more empowering books like this to come. So, Mr. Angelo, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate it.
More to come, people. See you soon.